In fact, traditionally in India, we have 12 darshanas. Okay. So again, we call it darshana. We don't call it philosophy. So I do not want to use English words and confuse our Indian concepts. Dharma, we have to understand it as dharma. Okay. Similarly, even darshana means it is showing you something. It is a way of seeing things. Okay. That is what is a darshana. And we have 12 darshanas, 12 ways of seeing this world, whether there is a creator or not, and what is the position of an individual in this creation. All these things, different darshanas are talking about all these things. Because any darshana has to talk about at least three things, correct? One is yourself as an individual. What is your reality? How you can be happy? Because everybody wants to be happy. So every darshana talks about how to make you happy. One. But also they have to talk about you are living in this world, correct? So how did this world come about? Is the world a creation or not? And then if the world is a creation, is there a creator? What is the nature of that creator? These things also one has to understand. So all darshanas have to talk about you as an individual, about this world, and about the creator of the world, if there is one, and how these three are related, and at the end of the day, how you can become happy, free from all sorrow, and be always happy. This is what all these darshanas are talking about. These 12 darshanas again are divided into Astika Darshana and Nastika Darshana. Okay. So there are 6 Nastika Darshana. Nastika and Astika here. Astika is wrongly translated in English as an atheist. Okay. So Astika means not an atheist, really. Astika means one who accepts the Veda. One who accepts whatever the Veda says is considered to be an Astika. One who rejects the Vedic knowledge entirely. And they have their own whatever theories, propositions. They are all called Nastika. So in the Nastika Darshana, we have Charvaka. We start with Charvakas. They are called materialist in English. You can say that. Then we have different types of Buddhists. And we also have Jainas. Jains are all there. These 4 types of Buddhists, the Jainas and the Charvakas, the materialists, are called Nastika because they do not accept the Veda. Then there are 6 more darshanas are there. Starting from, you have Nyaya Vaisheshika, we say. So Nyaya is a darshana. Nyaya in English is translated as logicians. But they are a group of people who are realists. They take this world and then they try to explain the world based on inference. Inference is the main thing, but they also accept the Veda. Then Vaisheshikas are the original atomic theorists in the world. Understand that. Many of you may have studied in your school that Dalton is the one who created the atomic theory and all that. Dalton's theory of atoms. But Dalton, before some 2000 years before Dalton only, our Vaisheshikas, they are the ones who talk about the whole world is made up of atoms. They call it Anu. So Anu, Paramanu, they say. Paramanu is not even visible. Paramanu, then 2 Paramanus come together and become Dvenuk, they say. That is more like a molecule, correct? And then 3 Dvenuks come together and become a Trenuk. And the Trenuk only is visible. Like that, they are the original atomic theories. Everything is made up of atoms. And atoms come together and then this whole world, this whatever macro world we are seeing is formed. Like that, they are the original atomic theorists. And so they divide the whole world into certain categories. And then once you understand all these things, they say that you will gain happiness. If you have the right knowledge, all these darshanas, they stress on knowledge. According to their system, if you understand and know things properly, then you can overcome all sorrow. You can always be happy. That is the promise. Okay, so there is a Nayayika, there is a Vaisheshika, and there are also Yoga, Sankhya and Yoga, we say. So the Sankhya again has his own theory, model, how the world came about. They talk about three gunas, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. Okay, and these three gunas come together, they mix together, and then that's how this whole world is formed. And they stress on all sorts of yogic practices, correct? How to really cultivate a certain type of mind, certain disposition, and how you have to lead a life so that you have a contemplative mind, a mind which can focus on things, a mind which is calm, which is free from all distractions. Like this, the Sankhya focuses more on mental disciplines. Okay, and if you follow all those disciplines, they say that you will have a mind which is free from all thoughts, and that itself is going to give you great happiness. All sorrow is because your mind is thinking in a certain way, correct? All sorrow is really mental. In fact, it's all based on your thoughts, your thought pattern, how you think. So you think in a certain way and then only become sorrowful or sad. So the Sankhya is focusing more on mental disciplines so that you can then totally have your mind under your mastery. And yoga also is basically borrowing everything from Sankhya, but they also accept that there is a creator. See, the Sankhya and Vaisheshika, in fact, they do not accept that there is a Ishvara, there is a creator. Okay, because the Vaisheshika says all the Anus come together and form the whole world. The Sankhya also says that all these the three gunas, they come together and form this world. So they don't see a need for a creator or a Ishvara. So even the Astika Darshanas are there which do not accept Ishvara. That's what you have to understand. But yoga accepts an Ishvara, but they basically borrow everything from Sankhya. And so yoga is now very popular. Yoga as a physical discipline, but yoga is not just a physical discipline or only with the physical asanas. Asana is one part. So yoga actually has Ashtanga, 8 parts to it. Okay, that is what is called Ashtanga yoga. In that there is a niyama, yama and niyama. Correct. Certain acts are prescribed. You have to do certain things. Even here, doing achara is very important for yoga again. And certain things you have to avoid. You should not do. So yama niyama are basically do's and don'ts. And then asana. Asana is the one which is more popular nowadays as yoga. Asana is to keep your body fit, flexible, that you can sit in a place and contemplate. Sitting in one place for 1 hour also is not very easy, correct? The two modern people who are used to chairs, you can't sit cross-legged on the ground. Even for that, you have to be a yogi, I think. So this asana is one part, and then the other parts are all there. Okay, pranayama means how breath control. How do you control your breathing? In fact, that also will keep you very healthy. Your mind also. The way to master your mind is through your breath. So pranayama is very, very important. The regulating of your breath, how we breathe. In fact, our whole life is looked upon as so many number of breaths. That's how traditionally it is looked upon also. So by regulating your breathing, you are actually also regulating your life itself. So pranayama is an important part of yoga. Then we have pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi and all that. Those are all more related to your mind. How to focus your mind, how to make your mind one-pointed, how to resolve your mind itself. Because normally we have a cognition of an object and there is a subject, correct? There is a subject-object division is there. As a knower, you are knowing something, correct? You see a part. So this is part means there is part knowledge. You are the knower of the pot, correct? This is pot, I know the pot. Like that, I am the knower of the pot. Pot is an object. I am the subject who is knowing the pot. So this division itself can be resolved. Okay, and that is a very desirable state. That's what the yogi says. In fact, that resolution also happens every night when we sleep. Understand that? But this is different. This resolution happens when your mind is still awake. There the mind itself resolves and goes to sleep. But even sleep is a very desirable thing, correct? We all like to sleep well. It is rejuvenating. We enjoy the sleep really. That's why nobody goes to the doctor and complains, doctor, I get good sleep every night. Please give me some medicines or anything. Nobody asks. In fact, if you don't get sleep, you go to the doctor and you have insomnia. Then they give you a name. You are an insomniac and you have to do something or take medicines and all that. But otherwise, sleep also is very desirable. But again, there also the subject-object resolves. But in samadhi also, which is the goal of a yogi, the subject-object resolves. Your mind is still, and but your mind is still awake. That is considered to be what has to be achieved. Like that, the Sankhya and Yoga are more towards mental disciplines, and through that they are saying that you can. Of course, yoga also brings in all other disciplines, as I told you, in the eightfold manner. And if you lead a life with all these disciplines, you will be happy. See, all these darshanas are only talking about how to keep you happy, which is what everybody really wants. And then we also have Purva Mimamsa and Uttara Mimamsa, we say, or Vedanta. So Purva Mimamsa is a Vaidika. He lives the life as per whatever the Veda says. And Veda is telling you to do so many different things, rituals, karma, we call it. So on a day-to-day basis, you are supposed to do Nitya Karma, we say. Every day you are supposed to do certain things. Then on certain occasions, like let us say a new moon day, a full moon day, or an eclipse, Naimitika, we say. On certain occasions also you are expected to do many things. So like this, and also based on your desire, also you can do. So I want to rule this whole world as a Chakravarti, means there are, Veda is telling you to do certain karma, or you want to go to heaven. Heaven itself, I don't want to use the word, we can say Swarga. So the Veda talks about different lokas also. So if you want to go to Swarga, then you do this karma, you do this every day, or you do this during this time, like this. So the Veda is like a supermarket. The initial portion of the Veda, we can say, or most of the Veda, which is called Karma Khanda, the section where the karma is talked about, for different types of desires, to achieve different ends, to achieve different things, what kind of rituals you can do, what karma you can do, what activities you have to do, all that is detailed out. Okay, that is called Purva Mimamsa. And surprisingly, the Purva Mimamsaka also does not feel a need for an Ishvara. In fact, the Purva Mimamsaka does not accept the world as a creation itself. He says within the world, different things are getting created and destroyed, but the world as it is always there like this. So unless you accept the world as a creation, you don't require a creator, correct? So the Purva Mimamsaka, even though he is a Vaidika, he is like, he is accepting the Veda for everything. He leads his life, entire life, as per the whatever is said in the Veda, and he does not accept a creator. But then there is a Vedantin also, one who goes by not only whatever is said in the Purva Bhaga, or the initial section of the Veda, but there is a final section of the Veda also is there, Vedanta, the end of the Veda, where the reality about this world, about oneself, all this is talked about. And knowing our own reality alone can free us from all sorts of sorrow, sadness, and make us always happy. So that is the Vedanta. So like this, we have all these darshanas, and all the darshanas are again teaching you something. They are not asking you to blindly believe something, this or that. They are all asking you to understand their model and also follow your life. They are also giving you certain disciplines so that you can internalize this knowledge and assimilate it and lead your life according to that and see whether it really helps you or not. So that is why our stress is on knowledge. We do not have a belief system. That is why it is very difficult to go. We cannot go to the road and preach like some others do. Okay. We don't have a simple set of some 10 beliefs or anything like that. That if you believe that, that is good enough. You will go to Swarga or heaven. No, it's not like that. That is why, in fact, you have to make an effort to understand our traditional knowledge systems. Unless you make an effort to understand it, it is very difficult. Okay. Without knowledge, again, you will not. Everything will look meaningless to you.